Hope you guys are doing well today. We are going to do a quick video on the statement from Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova regarding this Ryanair plane that was flying over Belarus and was forced to land, and the subsequent arrest of this quote-unquote journalist Roman Protasevich, and actually his girlfriend was also arrested during this incident. And her statement is really interesting, and I think her statement says a lot about the hypocrisy that is playing out with regards to this event. Of course, the European Union, they are clutching their pearls and they are saying that this is unprecedented, this event. And of course, they're imposing sanctions on Belarus, all kinds of sanctions and limitations on Belarus and Belarus-Ryanair and all kinds of things going on. But first, the meme of the day, which is this picture right here, which says, "Think fake news is bad?" And person's holding fake news. Wait until you find out about fake history and science. Of course, this meme is very relevant given all the information we now know about Dr. F and the fact that they're drip feeding us the truth about a certain medical facility, research facility located in China, and how that might have played a role in starting up this, let me choose my words carefully, this medical thing that we've been going through and the restrictions that have followed after this medical thing that we've been going through. Anyway, you guys know exactly what I mean, but this story is being drip fed to us. The truth of this story is being drip fed to us, and the truth is coming out. Trump was right at the end of the day, guys. Trump was right. He made many statements about what was going on in this medical facility in China. He was right again. All right, so let's get to this story with Maria Zakharova, her statement. But before we do, I want to say a couple of things. We did a live on this. Alexander has just put up a video on this, a very extensive, detailed video, around 40 minutes long, where he goes over everything in detail as to what happened with this event in Belarus and Ryanair and Protasevich. And we also have another video coming out tomorrow where we go over this as well. And we report the facts, and we try to analyze exactly what's going on here, always from a geopolitical perspective. Now, a lot of people in the European Union, a lot of leaders in the EU, from von der Leyen to Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis, of course, the flight was going from Athens to Lithuania, from Greece to Lithuania. So he's taken a very vocal tone, a very vocal approach to this, condemning everything and everyone in and around this incident. Macron, Merkel, Michel, everyone is weighing in the European Union. They're clutching their pearls. They've got their knickers all twisted up, and they're saying, this is unprecedented. This has never happened. Guys, I'm going to put a link to Alexander's video. He references an article from Moon of Alabama. We're going to talk about this in our video, the Duran video that's going up tomorrow. This has happened many, many times. Not only with Morales, it happened in 2016 with a commercial jet that was forced to return and land back in Kiev because they wanted to nab an Armenian journalist who was living in Russia and was writing articles where he was condemning the Maidan coup. And so they wanted to nab him, and they actually downed that plane. They forced that plane to land. That was in 2016. No one said anything. In 2010, the United States forced a flight that was going from Mexico to France, or from France to Mexico. I forgot which direction. Anyway, they forced a plane to land in Canada so that they can nab someone that they wanted to arrest. And this was in 2010. This has happened over and over again. Of course, we know all about Morales and the European Union that followed a U.S. command and closed off the airspace to Morales and forced that plane to land in Austria. So this is not unprecedented. We need to forget this whole unprecedented thing. That is out the window. We know that is a lie. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about this two wrongs. Well, two wrongs don't make a right. Just because it's happened in the past doesn't mean what Lukashenko did was right. I agree. Two wrongs don't make a right. And in a perfect world where everyone is playing on a level playing field, everyone is following the rules, then yes, if someone breaks those rules, they should be punished. That, of course, means that everyone is playing by the rules. That's what we're supposing here. Everyone is playing by the rules. But we know that for many, many decades, the West, the European Union, the EU, and the United States do not play by the rules. It's always been good for me, not good for thee. Or how does that phrase go? Yeah, what's good for me is not good for thee, right? Or what's good for thee is not good for me. I don't know, whatever. Basically, the hypocrisy of it all, right? The hypocrisy of it all. They do whatever they want outside of the rules, but if anyone breaks those rules that they made with the institutions that they rule, that they own, then sanctions and punishment and regime change and all kinds of other stuff. That is why what happened over Belarus airspace is incredible. It's incredible because it shows for the first time a country that is saying, you know what? You guys have broken rule after rule after rule. You've tried to overthrow my government time after time again. Regime change after regime change, including a coup attempt that happened just a couple of weeks ago. People aren't reporting the coup attempt in Belarus that happened a couple of weeks ago. And you have a world leader saying, you guys have tried to overthrow my government time and time again. You guys don't play by the rules. Well, I'm not going to play by the rules either. And of course, you know, we don't know if what he did was illegal either. I'm not a lawyer. This would require a lot of legal insight, but I don't know if what Lukashenko did was illegal. I don't know. But I will say that if we take the approach and we say, okay, I'll agree what he did is illegal. I'll give you that. But he is basically saying, I am not going to play by those rules because what you guys do is illegal all the time. So in this case, I'm going to play outside of the rules and I'm going to bring this plane down. Once again, I'm not saying what he did is illegal or not illegal. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But I'm just playing out a hypothetical. Let's say all of this stuff was illegal and everything he did was illegal. Still, what the EU and what the US has done with regime change operations and bringing down many planes, including commercial planes, to land so they can make arrests over the years is now being done by a country that's not part of the EU, West, Five Eyes, NATO framework. And that's what's pissing them off. But it also shows that for the first time we're seeing countries are not afraid now to play by the same screwed up hypocritical rules that the EU has been playing under and that the US plays under and that Canada plays under and the whole Five Eyes plays under. We're seeing a country now that is saying, you know what? You guys flout the rules. We're going to flout the rules too because we're going to grab this guy who, to be honest, this guy was wanted. He was wanted by the government in Belarus. You know, if you're going to be a journalist and participate in color revolutions and participate in events that try to overthrow the government, it's dangerous. You know, it's dangerous. If it was me and I was doing that in Belarus, to be honest, I wouldn't fly over Belarus. I wouldn't be anywhere near Belarus. I would think twice about it because I would say to myself, geez, you know, I'm involved in all kinds of spycraft and all kinds of regime change stuff, and there's arrest warrants out for me. Best I just don't get anywhere near that country. I mean, that's common sense. If you're gonna get involved in this stuff, you know, there's risks. There's risks. So Bratisovich should have realized those risks, and well, you know, he didn't. He didn't. And anyway, now we have a new Navalny type of figure. It's interesting. We have a new Navalny type of figure. Anyway, finally, guys, a couple more things before I read you Maria Zakharova's statement. And that is the whole, well, you guys don't point out that Lukashenko is a dictator. Yes, you could say he's a dictator. But, I'm going to say this. He did win the elections. He may not have won by 80%, like he was claiming, but we know that the opposition definitely did not win the elections in Belarus. And while I don't think Lukashenko won by 80%, he did win around, I would say, anywhere from 55 to 65% of the vote. People may not want to hear it and may not want to believe it because they think he's a dictator, because anyone that's not a neoliberal or neocon and doesn't fold into the globalist agenda is a dictator and an authoritarian and all these things. But he did win the elections, and he does have support in Belarus, and he has a lot of support in Belarus. This is just a fact. This is just a fact of the situation. So he did win the elections. He really did. Like it or not, scream all you want, he's a dictator. The fact is that he does have support in the country, and a large base of support, as did Yanukovych in Ukraine, who also was democratically elected. But Obama and the European Union overthrew Yanukovych, and they had a coup in Ukraine, and it led to the disaster in Ukraine. And why do I bring that up? Because it may shock people, but in Belarus, they actually do value stability. And they saw what happened in Ukraine. They see what's happening in Syria. They saw what happened in Libya. They see a lot of the social unrest in the United States. They see the craziness of Europe. They see the woke ideology. They see the breakdown of society, the breakdown of culture, of family, of tradition. They see these things. They have news, guys. They have internet. They're reading all this stuff. And, some countries and some cultures, it may be shocking to believe, actually say, you know what? I value my country's stability. And we have to be honest. Belarus, you may say it's run by a dictator. You may say it's oppressive. That's fine. You may say it's not capitalist. That's fine. But it is stable. It is safe. People are working. It didn't close down. It didn't have lockdowns. They let the people do as they want. It's from what I understand, and people who are living in Belarus can put in the comments down below. It's a normal life. It's a normal, safe, stable life there, and people value that. That's just my opinion. Not every country, the people of every country value different things. And so, while some people scream dictator with Lukashenko, there are other people in Belarus who say, you know what? The guy's not bad, and he provides us a sense of stability and safety. And when we look at the world outside of us and the world around us and Europe around us, we say people are just batshit crazy in Europe, and we don't want none of that. Anyway, that's my thought there. I'm going to read you what Maria Zakharova has said, guys, and I'm going to wrap up this video. And I wanted this to be a short video. And on a personal note, with regards to Greece, because Mitsotakis is really sounding off on this incident. And a lot of Greeks have been putting comments about, but what Lukashenko did was like an act of war against Greece. And this was an airline connected to Greece because it flew from Greece and all this stuff. You know what? All I have to say there is Cyprus has been occupied. A European Union country has been occupied for 45 years by a country that's not in the EU, by Turkey. They've been occupied for 45 effing years. Never once has a Greek leader, I can't remember a Greek leader, coming out and saying enough is enough. EU, put sanctions on Turkey tomorrow. Never once. Never once have they forced the EU's hands to put sanctions on Turkey for their illegal occupation of a European Union country. Never once. They had a chance, actually, a couple of months ago to do it. They were talking about putting sanctions on Turkey. What did they do? Nothing. Zero zilch. Did they tell airlines not to fly to Turkey? No. Did they close off airspace to Turkish airlines? No. None of that. Keep in mind, Turkey is occupying an EU country. Where was Greece there? Now Mitsotakis is like shocked. I mean, the guy's like having a brain spasm because of this incident. Like he should give an F. He shouldn't. What he should do is he should have 2 months ago told the EU either you fix Cyprus and deal with Cyprus or F off. He didn't do that. Not a tweet, not a sound, not a peep. Not a peep. That's my opinion on that. Here's what Maria Zakharova had to say, guys. No reason for West to be shocked by Ryanair flight incident, Russian diplomat says. The blood and suffering of millions of people across the world have yanked the pedestal from under Western demagogues. from where they have been preaching. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, here is her full statement. Quote, "What is shocking is that the West has described the incident in Belarusian airspace as shocking. The so-called civilized democracy's tendency to follow the quod licet lovi non licet bovi." I hope I said that right. Latin is not very good. What is permissible for Jupiter may not be permissible for a bull. What is permissible for Jupiter may not be permissible for a bull. Principle has long been irrelevant because the former leaders have lost leadership skills. The blood and suffering of millions of people across the world have yanked the pedestal from under Western demagogues, from where they have been preaching. Or they should be shocked by everything, including the move to force down the Bolivian president's plane in Austria at the United States' request and the Belarusian aircraft carrying an anti-Maidan activist. Otherwise, such behavior should not come as a shock to them, the Russian diplomat emphasized. And there you see, she's talking about Protasevich because he was an anti-Maidan activist. He was involved in the coup in Ukraine. One way or another, Alexander gets into it. He gets into detail about his involvement in Ukraine. He was involved with some pretty shady, far right characters in the name of the Azov Battalion. And isn't it funny that the EU and the US that are always talking about far right this, far right that, NAZI this, NAZI that, support Navalny, who is far right. He is far right anti-immigration, that's a fact. And they're coming to the aid of this guy who was involved with a very far right battalion during the Maidan coup and during the war that killed tens of thousands of people in Ukraine, especially thousands of people in East Ukraine. And who was the ambassador in Ukraine at the time? Jeffrey Pyatt. Who was the ambassador in Greece when all of this has gone down now? Jeffrey Pyatt. Anyway, food for thought, guys. That's the statement from Maria Zakharova. And Odyssey, Super U, BitChute, join our locals. A lot of good conversation going on there. Join our locals. All the links are down below in the description box. The Duran shop. Pick up a magic mug. Pick up a t-shirt. 10% off when you use the code RealNews. Take care.